everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm finally doing a review on the new Etude House Fixing Tint Bar, which actually has been out for probably a couple months now, but I finally got my hands on them and I was really looking forward to actually getting this, because if you guys follow my channel, you would know that I really oh, and I just dropped one, that I really love my Etude House Fixing Tint. This bar is pretty much like the lipstick version of this tint and I'm obsessed with this tint, so I will do like a quick comparisons between these two as well. But let's get started with the detail of this Etude House Fixing Tint Bar first. In terms of the color, it consists a lot of spring-like color but also a couple of like nudie natural tone shade too. With this formula, it is very soft. It's supposed to be like a matte lipstick, but again I feel like this is a very hydrating lipstick to even be considered as a matte lipstick, and it's more like a balmy texture for me. But imagine like a lip balm but a super pigmented lip balm. This is what you will get. The longer you use it, it does turn into a matte-like texture. With the packaging though, like, I mean, putting aside the whole comparison with other lipsticks, this is a very aesthetic, beautiful, you know, very, you know, feminine like lipstick. It looks very gorgeous. You know, you get like this, you know, it's very different from your usual Etude House lipstick, and also you get a bit of this semi-transparent looking as well. One thing I don't like about this is that I can't tell what color is in each of these individual lipsticks unless I actually look at the stickers down below. If I put it all together like this, they all look the same to me. Compared to like the Fixing Tint one, you can actually see or like vaguely guess what colors they are, because as you can see, all of the colors are different, right? When I saw the packaging, I straight away thought about my Head Out lipstick, which, I mean, I'll show you guys. I mean, look at this. Don't you guys think it's similar? Same with this. It's similar, isn't it? What do you guys think? This is, I just wanted to show you guys because I'm sure some of you guys who love Head Out lipstick, you guys will probably thought about it the same as well, right? In terms of the lipstick itself, it's more like a bullet one. It is much more slimmer and it's actually very easy to use, easy to apply. However, because of how soft it is, I actually broke one of the lipstick. I'm not sure how, maybe I dropped it once, I'm not sure, and the whole lipstick just completely broke, which means that there's only so much I can actually push out. I think it's number 2. Where was it? This one? I can't remember which one, but you just have to be really careful with this lipstick because it's actually very fragile when actually using it, so make sure you don't drop it. And I'm actually really nervous for using this during the hot weather, because when you do apply this on your lips, it feels like it's like melting on your lips when you apply it, you know. And so I'm worried in terms of the formula during the hot weather whether the lipstick will actually stay intact, if that makes sense. But we shall see how it goes. The texture wise is so easy to apply, it's so smooth, it basically just melt onto your lips, which is such a nice feeling for those who have dry lips like me. Like, it just feels so hydrating, it feels so creamy, and it just feels like as if I'm not applying anything on my lips, which is amazing. For the longevity, I would say it's actually pretty long lasting for a lipstick, and it's been a while since I tried a lipstick that is long lasting, and I'm really amazed with this, including wearing masks, including eating and drinking. I would say this actually lasts for a decent 5-6 hours before you actually have to touch up. And even touching up, you only need to touch up the inner part where it actually meets your lips, but everywhere else it just looks really great. So I will put like a shot here of how it looks like after I went out, you know, wearing masks, eating and drinking as well, because I was very amazed by it. I've also heard that this is actually smudge proof and transfer proof, so I'm gonna kiss my hand and we'll see whether it's true or not. So yeah, I mean, I've already said this for a while, but I wouldn't say it's like completely transfer proof. I would say it transfers a little bit, but I mean, this is actually pretty good enough that most of the lipstick is still intact, you know. In terms of the comparisons of it with the Fixing Tint, I would have to say I can see some differences, but I also can see some similarities. In terms of the similarities, it would be the whole long lasting, where both are actually really long lasting, but if you ask me which one is much more longer lasting, I would say this Fixing Tint one is definitely way more long lasting, because I love how this one, whatever you do, it just stays on and it's great. In terms of the differences, I would have to say this fixing tint one is definitely feel much more heavier than the Tint BAR, and I know that when the Tint BAR didn't come out and this one was just as its own, I did say this feels really lightweight, but now if you were to compare, this is not as lightweight as the Tint BAR. However, I still feel that this is actually really lightweight as a tint, and I love how, you know, it still gives you a very smooth finish as well. And in terms of the finish, I would have to say that the Tint BAR, which is this one here, actually shows more of my fine line compared to this fixing tint. I feel like this fixing tint gives me more of that blur effect on the outer part of my lips and on the inner part as well. But with this Tint BAR, I notice when I do apply it, it doesn't really smooth out on the outline of my lips, but it does smooth out on the inner part as well. And I also feel like sometimes if my lips are a little bit too dry, I would have to say that the BAR is much more comforting than the tint. But in terms of the overall look, the overall finish, I would have to say this tint one is definitely much more nicer looking on me, if that makes sense. Let's talk about the colors now, and I have 5 colors here. So let's start with number 1, which is Lively Red. And this is a beautiful raspberry red color, and again it has like that red undertone, and it just makes you look very lively, you know, like it's definitely like a strawberry red but with a hint of raspberry shade as well. Number 2, Clear Berry, just like its name, I feel like this is also like a raspberry pink tone, but it's much more fuchsia looking and definitely way brighter. Number 3, Milk Caramel, this is like a nudie shade, but I also feel like it's not really a caramel shade, it feels more coral on me when you first put it on, but then as you build up a little bit more, it does look more like a nudie brown shade. Number 4 is Coral Rose, and I feel like this one is like a combination of coral, pink and orange as well. Last one is Mauvey Pink, which is my absolute fave out of this 5 because it's pretty much my lips but better. It's like a beautiful warm tone pink shade which I love, and it's seriously like if this is like a lip balm, this would be my lip balm, if that makes sense. One thing I have to mention in terms of this application is that it is beautiful, but it's like hit and miss depending on some colors. I noticed with the lighter colors you can actually build up a little bit more. However, with the darker color like number 1 and number 2, there's actually so much you can build up, which I find really interesting because usually when it comes to lipstick, it will be the lighter one that's harder to build up and the darker color that is easier to build up. But in terms of this bar, it's like a reverse factor where the lighter one is easy to build up and the darker one there's only so much you can do, you know. So but overall it is good. However, I do notice that it is harder to apply this as a gradation lip due to the texture of how smooth it is. So you must well apply this as a fuller lip, because one application as a fuller lip do look really natural, do look very light looking, so you don't have to worry about doing that whole gradation effect if that is what you're trying to achieve. In terms of the comparisons between the bar and the lip tint, I will end this video with the comparisons because I do have some similarities and some a little bit different when you actually do swatch them. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys have tried this bar. I have a feeling they will actually add more colors to this, and I'm not surprised by the time I release this video they might release more colors, who knows. But I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye guys.